And one of the situations that comes up is you have a person, for example, who's injured at work, and maybe their colleagues, if it happens at work, they see what happens. The person was crushed by some falling lumber, and their colleagues are like, "Oh my gosh, we'll be there for you forever." But what happens over time is three months after the injury, the person looks fine. So the friends come to visit, and the friends they bring the message back to other people at work, and they say, "Hey, I've seen John. He was hurt at the work site, and he looked pretty bad the first couple of weeks, but he's looking pretty good right now. But you know what? John says that his doctor tells him that he's got really bad memory problems, and he's not coordinated, and he can't multitask anymore. But when I looked at him, he looked really normal to me. I couldn't actually tell that there was anything wrong with him, but he's saying that he's so bad off because he had this brain injury. He's so bad off that he can't work anymore." And so then what happens is the guys at work start thinking, "Oh my gosh, he's kind of figured out how to beat the system. We'd all like to get paid, and we'd all like to collect money for doing nothing. In the meantime, here's this person who's been hurt, who's following his doctor's directions not to go back at work, because if he goes back to work, he's going to have another pile of lumber fall on him or get hit by a fork truck that's backing up, and he doesn't have the coordination to get out of the way. So here's his friends thinking he's got an easy life and he's living off the system, and they don't want to talk to him because they wish they were in his situation where they could get paid for doing nothing. And here he is thinking, these people, I worked with these guys for 5 or 10 years. They said they were going to come visit me. They came a couple of times, and now they won't return my phone calls." No, and that's when people start to think nobody cares about me. And when people think nobody cares about me, they begin to think they're worthless. And when people begin to think they're worthless, they get really depressed. And that, to some extent, is the root of some of the depression that people face. Imagine if tomorrow, let's say you have 5 or 10 or 15 really good friends. Imagine if all of a sudden tomorrow, you as a person who didn't have a brain injury, people just stop returning your calls. The people you text once or twice or 4 or 5 or 10 times a day, they stop replying to your text messages. The people you called and spoke with once or twice a day or once or twice a week, they stop returning your phone calls. You would begin to wonder what happened or what you did or what was wrong with you, because nobody wants to talk to you. And if nobody wants to talk to you, nobody cares about you. And it's really a difficult situation. And it really takes people a while to figure out and understand what's happened. Because if all your friends stop returning your texts and they stop returning your phone calls, you tend to take it personally. There's something really wrong with me. And it's bad enough that people have a brain injury, but then they start thinking that they're socially undesirable, they're outcasts. They're not worthy of anybody's friendship. And you hear people talk about self-esteem. That's the other damage that occurs with this. It causes a horrible devastation to people's self-esteem. And what this is about is really it's a loss of relationships.